have been reliably informed that we are supposedly Vampire the Masquerade tonight, so please scratch all that. So, we are in Chicago. And some undead people are hanging out. No, I can't even pretend to run Vampire the Masquerade. All I remember is it involves D10s. I had a van. It was a very good van. Back in the world of Victorian London, we go over to a fairly recently sort of established embassy. I believe it still is at this point. And to the office of Johann Wilhelm Freiherr Zutanen III. As you get a little knock on the door from one of your colleagues.
Rein.
And this whole conversation that follows will be in German, however.
Sure.
I cannot speak German.
It's fine.
But one of your colleagues leans in and goes, the ambassador would like a word with you in his office. He said it was important.
Sure. Always time for the ambassador. Grab a couple of stuff that I think I might need and go.
And as you head over, you enter the office of the Paul von Hatzfeld, the current ambassador, who is this very well-dressed man in his late 50s, sat behind a rather fancy desk. Yes. Now this is the question. Which of your name is the surname? Is this,
You would probably use Johann.
Johann! Take a seat.
Sure.
I'm glad to see you're looking much better.
Yes.
Fortunate incident, the gas explosion, was it?
Yes, I think so. I've put up a little pressure for, don't need that to happen again, have I?
Good. And I trust everything the office is going well?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Good. I have a little favour to ask of you.
Sure.
You came well recommended. And, I was told you were a reliable man.
I'm doing as much as I can.
So, you see, Otto Hoffman, very, very junior fellow, works down in the, kind of short, glasses.
I think I've seen him, yeah.
Yes, he has gone missing. For the long story short. Well, he might not have actually gone missing. We are not certain yet. He hasn't turned up to work. No one's seen him since last Thursday. It's almost a week now.
So the local police turned anything up?
We have not told them yet. Before we got the locals involved, we wanted to make sure that it was something we wanted them involved in.
Understandable.
Involved himself with anything untoward, it's perhaps best that we quietly handle this ourselves rather than cause too much of a fuss.
I mean, I can go and look into it. And if necessary, shut up somebody that,
Yes. So, would you be able to discreetly look into the matter and just see if you any idea what might be going on? Whether we should get the local police involved or whether it's nothing to worry about and it's just
Better if nobody speaks about it again.
Yes.
I see. I will look into it. I'll tell you if I find something out.
Very good. Yes, his colleagues haven't seen him since last Thursday when he left work. He said he was taking the Friday off.
So, well, anything important about the guy?
Nothing really. He's a fairly junior member of staff. Doesn't handle anything particularly sensitive. I don't think that anyone would have a great interest in him. Unless he has been snooping around places he wasn't supposed to be doing, which is always the worry.
So there's no important family that could
No.
bite us in the ass. Okay, that's fine then.
Quite a nobody, really, but technically he's our nobody, so we should probably make sure he hasn't done anything that will get the Londoners up in arms.
Yes, we need to make sure that our reputation is untarnished.
Exactly. He has rooms in a not too far from here. Where was it again? Over down, not too far from where you live, but a bit further north, just off in Brompton, just off the Brompton Road.
Sure. I'll have somebody drive me over there and take a look. Do we have the keys for the apartment, or do I need to get somebody that can get me in there?
I think there is a maid working there. Will be able to let you in. We don't have his keys.
I see.
I assume they are on him wherever he may be.
Well, I'll find out.
Indeed. Very good. And remember, until we know what's going on, try to keep this a little quiet. Hush, hush, so to speak.
Well, I don't intend to tell anybody, if not necessary.
Good. Well, I'll leave you to it.
Well, a good day then.
Okay.
And I'll leave.
Alright, so you are heading off, and do you have an intended sort of destination?
Well, currently, I just think I should just go up and show up. Maybe, no, I'm showing up uninvited. I don't want them to be able to, hide stuff if possible.
So showing up over to where he is living?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll have a cab.
I mean, it's only just round the corner.
True.
You could still call a cab. It depends what kind of person Johann is.
I think he'd just walk, depending on how long it takes for the cab to be made ready.
Yeah, I think it's a 10-minute walk round the corner.
Yeah, that's not worth waiting.
So as Johann is walking around to pay a visit to Mr. Hoffman's home, over at the home of the London Esoteric Society, the Carters, no relation, are taking tea in the library. Maddie having recently returned to London, and Thomas paying a call on, well, I'll let them attend to their business.
Thomas will be just flipping through the Sir John's journal that he found and making a few notes to one side of anything that seems relevant to what they experienced. Any references to the enchanted forest or any creatures we encountered there. Just anything like that, rather than the cheese dreams and mouse dreams that Sir John made notes of. So he's just going to be flipping through those quickly and just relaxing in a nice library.
I don't know how much relaxing you can get from that diary.
Well, it seems confusing, but there seem some things in it that seem relevant. But, it was really strange, those dreams.
That cat thing.
I never saw the cat thing that you saw. Or was it a rat thing? You said
There
a
was
rat
the rat thing
of-
as well, but no, there was that
Oh,
weird amphibious cat that.
oh, the thing I
attacked us.
punched in the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I'm wondering if they can be tamed.
I wouldn't want to try.
That's what I'm looking for, is to see if there's any information on them. Be interesting to see if they could be tamed. But then again, it's whether that, well, it was real in a strange way. So I don't quite understand what we saw or went through, because it didn't make sense that we were all in the same dream.
Not at all.
So I'm just trying to make sense of it all at the moment.
There is no mention of taming amphibious dream cats in the diary.
Oh,
However, if you want to sort of delve and see sort of what information and sort of lore you can glean from it, I will say, please roll me a D100. And you are currently rolling against the lore value of this book. Which is unfortunately lower than a 38. You get the idea that while Sir John was dabbling in this, he didn't know a lot of sort of the answers to a lot of the questions. So you find a lot more questions in this book than you do answers. Sort of talk of these steps, and then lots of questions like, what are these? Does everyone who dreams see these? Like, he didn't seem to know much more than you. You do get the idea that he was a little more cautious than you, that he didn't actually try flying off into darkness like Maddie did.
it looks like
He
this
stuck to the
was
steps.
not his specialty or area of study, but something he'd heard about and didn't understand or know much about. So no answers there.
No. I'm not sure where else to look.
I'm sure there must be books somewhere on dreams. But how many of it's relevant and how much of it is just nonsense?
Well, I guess we.
I'm just
I
wondering.
can go looking.
Well, we didn't find anything. This was all we found last time in here. But there's always the library. I mean, there's no rush. I'm just curious if there's a way to actually voluntarily enter that dreamland and pick up information there. But not sure how that's possible, but maybe at a later date.
Probably some training to do that. Might be some teas or pipes to smoke.
Who knows? But how are you feeling anyway? You had quite a shock, or I didn't see what happened to you when you fell in that hole.
Keeper, do I remember?
You remember it like a dream. So you remember falling, and you remember sort of waking the moment before you hit the ground. But the waking is more or less a muddle. You don't remember the details. You remember snatches. It's all sort of an unclear muddle until you sort of came to your senses, sort of out there in the street, with people pointing and wondering.
I don't really remember much. I remember falling.
Yeah. I remember you fell down a hole and I climbed down to try and find you and you weren't there at the bottom. And I sort of fell myself. I slipped and tumbled not most of the way, but a fair amount of the way, and ended up injured as well. And whilst I was at the bottom of the tunnel, there was, it wasn't just a hole, there was like a set of tunnels under there. And I could hear something. And I concentrated on leaving the dream and waking up, and after a fair bit of effort, I woke up. Before whatever was making the sound turned up.
That's probably a good thing.
I suspect so. Quick question, Keeper. What were we wearing in the dreamland? Were we in the clothes we were asleep in, or...?
I'll say for now, you're in the clothes you're asleep in this case.
Yeah, that's the assumption I made at the time, which
in Maddie's case, I believe, was her normal day clothes. She'd fallen asleep with her whilst reading the book.
I did, yes.
which was very lucky. But I may visit the library when I get a chance to speak to someone there, see if I know of anyone who knows about dreams. Perhaps there's some expert or a scholar or someone who's aware of this sort of stuff, that, rather than the normal books that you tend to find read about it. But you never know, maybe a scholar of some fashion.
Yes, possible. If you'd like to take care of that, I can see if there's any peculiar bookstores that might have information. Or random books that have that information.
Different avenues of study, but at least there's no rush, so we can just find out what we do as and when. I was really curious. It is a very strange place.
Quite strange, and
Flowers were a bit weird as well.
quite a few things were weird.
Yeah, as you're having this...
I probably shouldn't take my leave, really. I've read as much as I can now.
That's fine.
Thank you for your time. If you need to get hold of me, you know where I am, so I'll either be, at work.
Well, I hope it's not too busy for you.
Yeah, it's a bit of I suppose, a conundrum. One, it's good for it to be busy because there's more business. On the other hand, you don't want a lot of people dying.
Precisely.
But, yeah, so as Thomas takes his leave, we head back on over to Johann, who has arrived at the house of Otto Hoffman. It seems to be a very sort of narrow house, narrow townhouse, probably. Well, still fairly sort of respectable. It'll have at least a drawing room and a dining room and a couple of bedrooms. So in the normal run of things, by no means small, but compared to where Johann lives or where the society is based out of, it's quite modest.
Well, going up to the door and knock.
Oh, just one moment, sir. Mr. Hoffman, I'm coming. You lose your keys again? And the door is opened by a young woman in a maid's uniform. Doesn't look too much more than, perhaps 17 years old. Sort of a maid of all work.
Hello.
Oh, you're not Herr Hoffman?
Yes, he hasn't shown up to the embassy for a while.
Oh. He's not here. I thought he might have been away with work or something. He doesn't tell me always where he's going.
Okay. I'd need to check around. Do you have does he have a study or anything in here? I'm not sure how big that house is.
Yeah, he has a study, sir.
Would you mind letting me in?
Oh, of course, sir. She
Thank
gives
you.
like a bob of a curtsy, like clearly from sort of your manner and appearances, she doesn't seem to doubt that you have the authority to be here.
Can you read?
Yes. Yes,
Would
sir.
you mind helping me looking for clues where he has gone off to? Because he hasn't been away with the embassy, so...
I don't read, German, sir.
Oh. Well, that's inconvenient. I guess I'll have to do this myself then.
But he said he was going to... Brighton? I
Right?
think. He said something about Brighton. But that was on Friday. But he said he'd be back for dinner. So I put dinner on like I normally do, but
He didn't
he
show
wasn't
up.
back. So I saved the cold cuts for breakfast the next morning in case he turned up, and then he didn't turn up Saturday or Sunday and Monday. And, I mean, now it's Wednesday, and I was starting to worry because I wasn't paid, and
Well, that we can solve right now.
I wasn't.
There you go.
Oh,
And I'll just probably overpay her.
thank you, sir. Please,
I'll...
his study's through there. His bedroom's up another floor again. Downstairs is the drawing room, the dining room, and downstairs is the kitchen. And I only come in the day. I live with my family around the corner, so
Okay,
slip in.
Think about if he maybe mentioned something else while I'm here and looking around.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll be busy looking through his study.
I'm not. Oh, he doesn't. He never let me in the study. It's I wasn't allowed in there when he wasn't in there. I had to wait till he was in there to go in and clear the fire and everything. He said it was important.
I mean,
he was a very important man, high up in the very important embassy position.
I see. Well,
I mean, I'm sure you know. I mean, you work there. So.
Well, is there a key in there? Is it locked or?
Oh, I mean, I've got the key. I just wasn't allowed to use the key.
Well, if you would be so kind.
She reaches for the key. You see her sort of door for a moment there, like sort of as things sort of catch up to her. Sort of. He did say I wasn't supposed to take his secrecy quite personally, sir.
Well, you see, he hasn't shown up since Thursday evening. It's Friday, right? Friday he left, you said?
Yes, Friday morning.
Friday morning. There might be information in there that can help me find him before there's, let's call it, political implications. I'm not sure what he was up to. And I'd rather know this way than having the London police involved in the problem.
Oh, give me a roll, please. Either.
I'm gonna be,
I guess,
very charming.
Yeah, I was gonna say charm, persuade, intimidate. This is definitely a social role of some description.
I'd say that's charm, right?
Oh,
That's fine.
sorry, I just thought I'd better ask. Here's the key.
Yeah, always better to ask once too much than once too little.
Yeah.
Open the door and start to look around.
Alright, as you step in, you see it's a fairly modest office. There's a little hearth with it's all sort of got ashes piled up in it. Doesn't look like anyone's swept out the fires since they were last in here. There's a desk, one bookshelf, an armchair. On the desk you can see there's some bits of paperwork. There's also like an inkwell, there's like a pipe and a little ashtray for smoke. Do you start looking around? Would you mind giving me a spot hidden, please? See if you...
Well, that's inconvenient.
So, looking through his books, they seem to be nothing of any sort of unusual nature. Nothing exciting. I just saw you roll now, and my mind is very tempted to...
Nice.
As you look over the desk, he's scribbled a few things down and crossed them out. Looks like he was making notes on something. It's a series of... You see it says, lady of the house out of town. Butler not helpful. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be all much in here. Nothing of much note.
Inconvenient. Well, looking through the books, there's nothing that's been lately taken. Nothing. So, well, I guess I'm gonna give the rest of the house a once over. Maybe there's paperwork that's been that fell out somewhere or stuff like that. But
searching anywhere in particular, or just sort of wandering around the house?
I'll look into every room at least once.
You know what? I'll give you another spot hidden. This is essentially pushing the roll in terms of taking more time at it, but not pushing it in the risky way. This is the...
Sure, yeah. I'll take my time. That's lucky. That's a hard one.
So searching back and forth around the house, you get the idea that he was living a bit stretched for cash. This place was probably a little bit much for him to afford on his sort of the low salary he was earning, sort of in a very, very junior position at the embassy. But so most of it seems fairly sort of modestly furnished. You can see here and there things are sort of faded, could do with a bit of touching up. One thing you do notice is one of the guest rooms upstairs looks like it's been recently stayed in. Like it is, because the sheets have been sort of folded back, ready for washing. Looks like someone was staying there recently, but they've sort of moved on. And you do see left behind, folded on the side, almost as for someone to come pick up again later, is a woman's nightdress.
Oh. Well, I'll just note that and leave downstairs and ask whether there's someone.
Oh yes, his wife was visiting.
His wife?
Yes, Mrs. Hoffman.
Oh, I've never met her. What kind of a person is she?
Oh, she seemed nice. A little quiet. She didn't speak English.
I mean, understandable. Not everybody does. Well,
I mean, I thought it a little odd he put her in the guest room, but I don't know, maybe that's normal in there.
well, but I guess that depends on how close they are, right?
Yes.
Because the lady must have, misplaced her nightgown.
Oh, yes, I put the sheets for washing, and I found that whilst I was tidying up. I didn't know if, when she was next coming back. She only stayed a couple of nights. She must have found lodging elsewhere. He said something about her sister somewhere. But
Do you remember where?
he didn't say. This was
Oh.
last week. She came to visit.
Did they leave together, or did she leave beforehand?
She left before him.
Weird. Brighton is a beautiful place to go with their wife, but I guess
Maybe she went to Brighton and he went to meet her there.
potentially.
He didn't tell me an awful lot about what he was doing, you see. Important business, not for likes of little me.
Well, if he shows back up, you would mind telling him to report in the embassy so we know what has happened?
Oh, of course, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. And I would leave for now.
Oh, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
I found in his bedroom hearth, when I was clearing out on Friday morning, I did find something. I probably shouldn't have kept it.
It's fine.
You see, it was like something after. What with him being like I shouldn't have kept it, but
I don't mind.
And she reaches out and holds up what appears to be like a mostly burnt page of paper.
What's it say?
It says, and it's written in English rather than German. It says, "Dear Miss Carter, I am writing to you regarding a recent visitor of mine, a young woman going by the name of and then the rest of the letter is burnt away. And then you see there's just one little bit, you can read a bit further down, it says, "I do not mean to alarm you, but I fear your life may be in danger."
I'm just gonna sigh. Very deeply. I'll need to take that because I think I know which Miss Carter that is talking about, and she might be in need of the warning.
I was just going to throw it away, but then I saw that and I thought maybe, I mean, obviously it was like embassy business, but you know, I've been reading these Penny Dreadful novels recently, and in them, like,
I understand. It's good that it's still here.
and you see, I know a Miss Carter. Well,
You do?
I don't know her. She turned up at the house once looking for me. I don't know why.
Oh, would it potentially be? And I would describe Maddie Carter.
Yeah, she came looking for me, and then my mum called me down, and then she looked at me and then just left. I don't know.
She's a curious woman, isn't she?
Yeah, so I thought, I mean, do you think she's some kind of spy?
How about you just stop thinking about that line of thought?
Right.
And yes, if she thinks it's a spy, perfect. Secret Agent Maddie. And I'll thank her for hospitality, and I'll leave.
All right.
How far is it to Grosvenor Square from here?
short distance away. Hang on, are we on the... It's a possibly half an hour walk, a bit more, less if you call a cab.
I think that's a amount of time where a cab would be useful. I'll call a cab and let me drive there.
All right, so as you head on over, you arrive up to the society not long after Thomas has left, and James sort of answers the door and calls through. Miss Carter, Mr. Wilhelm is back
Exactly.
here to see you again.
Oh, yes. Show him into the library.
Thank you. I'll take a seat in the library and fold up this half-burnt letter and put it on the table in the middle. Hello, Miss Carter.
Hello. How can I help you?
I've stumbled across a curious thing, and I'll turn it so that she may read it. One of the junior assistants in my embassy has gone missing last week.
Mm-hmm.
He left on Friday, and to avoid any political complications, I was asked to look into what had happened. And in his house, his maid found this letter. And I was just wondering if you might know that junior. And
What is the name of the gentleman? Your assistant?
Yes, he was called Otto, I think.
Yes, Otto Hoffman.
Otto Hoffman. He's supposed to be going to Brighton. He was supposed to go to Brighton, but he never returned. It seems like he assumed it would be a couple of hours that he was gone because his maid was to be making dinner. But he never showed up. And since he hasn't shown up since then, the ambassador has become a little nervous. I'm not sure if he's involved, but we wouldn't want any complications. So police has not been.
As far as I'm aware, I don't know anybody else from the embassy, with the exception of you, sir. But if it's something that you would like me to look into, I'm certain that I can do something for it. And now I'm going to read the letter. The burnt paper. I open it up and read it. And what was it again?
It says, "Dear Miss Carter, I am writing to you regarding a recent visitor of mine, a young woman going by the name of and whatever the name would be is obscure, so all it says is M. I do not mean to alarm you, but I fear your life may be in danger." And from the way, there's a burnt fragment, but it also looks like it was crumpled up. It doesn't look like it was a finished letter at the time it was burnt. This looks like someone's been throwing it in, possibly, the classic, throwing many failed attempts at a letter into a fire. Or at least one failed attempt.
Well, I'm fairly certain that this is not untrue. There's been some things happening recently that have led me to believe that I am a menace to some people, and they want me gone.
Can you specify those?
Oh, So yes, there was. I visited a small village. How long ago? 2 years ago? 3? 2 years ago?
Oh, the story you told about this woodland creature lady. I'm
About
not
2
sure.
years ago, I think now.
2
I
years
think
ago, yeah.
You remember? I think you said something about that, but that's not something recent now, is it?
No, it's not recent, but I'm fairly certain that some of the people from that village do not look kindly upon me, and as I have offered basically sanctuary to one of their family members here in London, they want her back, and I would not be surprised if that's the case that this would be referring to. Keeper, the M. Am I right in I want to say Madeline, but no, not Madeline. What was it? I can't remember. It's an M name.
You mean the
Again.
name that I always forget?
Yes.
It was Matilda.
Matilda. Okay.
Matilda. That was the name. I'm like fairly certain. That was the name of the young woman who was not very happy about you disturbing her forest ritual.
Yeah, her forest ritual, and then allowing her youngest sister to come live with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Matilda Purton.
Yes. So, how he would know of this, I don't know, unless this is unrelated, in which case then I have got no clue.
Well, you've certainly met his maid already.
Have I?
Yeah, you apparently showed up at her mother's house and asked for her by name, and then just left. I'm not sure what.
What was her name?
I don't think I asked.
You did not ask her name, no?
I don't think I asked.
Well, then I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, utterly impolite of me. I must have been out of my mind. Well,
I'm sorry, I'm looking through my notes to see if I remember the name.
Maddie would remember the name because the name
Maddie
came
would
from
remember.
it was Victoria Fairfax. Was the
Thank you. That's here somewhere. Ah, there it is, Fairfax.
because you were looking for any Victoria Fairfaxes in the area.
Yes.
I just.
Oh, it must have been a Miss Fairfax.
Potentially.
Especially if I was speaking with her mother, and then I left shortly after seeing her because she did not meet
The criteria?
Yes. Actually, how long ago did you say that Mr. Hoffman has been gone?
Friday. This week. Last week's Friday.
5 days?
Think.
It's Wednesday in game, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, okay, so 5 days. How long ago was the maggots incident?
The maggots incident was a while ago now.
Was it like 3 weeks ago?
That was back in. Yeah, that was a little longer ago. That was back in June.
Oh, okay.
Now in early August. So that was towards the end of June was when the maggots incident, as we shall call it, occurred, and it's now been over a month since then.
Okay.
Evidenced by Johann looking much better than he did last. So Johann, though you weren't there, I believe, when Maddie went looking for Victoria Fairfax, you were aware of the hunt for Victoria Fairfax, I believe.
True. I was aware of that. I was involved in that.
Yes. Yes, you were.
Well, little Victoria might now assume that you are a spy of some sort, but I guess close enough.
Well, I do things most people wouldn't want to, so.
Well, I guess I'd ask you to accompany me to Brighton, if you'd like to. And if you have somebody that might be otherwise useful, I don't think that it's that it might be. I think it might be problematic if I get caught on my own in situations that involve you.
Yes. Mr. Thomas Carter might be able to go if he is not too busy in his employment, family business.
Yeah, that's the undertaker of last time, right?
Yes.
I see. Sure.
Well.
And
When did you want to leave?
oh, I don't know. I don't have any other leads so far, except you and the Miss Victoria saying that he's supposed to be leaving for Brighton, and not a lot more than that.
Okay. Do you perchance have a photograph of Mr. Hoffman? That might make things a little easier for us to find him.
That makes sense. Since you guys haven't seen him, right? I'll go back to the embassy and find one in the employment records, probably. So that shouldn't be a problem. Should we meet up at some point, or should we?
Yes. What time did you want to leave tonight or tomorrow morning?
I think the faster this is resolved, the better. But if there's other stuff you might do in between,
all right,
we can delay that a little.
Let's go for late afternoon. It'll give you time to find that. I do have a couple of errands, and if you'd like me to request Mr. Carter's accompaniment, then I can take care of that while you're at the embassy.
That sounds like a plan.
And then we can meet at the train station. I'll take care of ordering the tickets, unless you wanted to do that.
I don't mind either way. It's not like those are costing the world.
Okay. So Johann's going back to the embassy as Maddie has a few other bits and bobs to finish up. But before we get back to those two, I think we're just going to pop over to Thomas. Having had his nice little browse through the books and tea with Maddie, he's heading presumably back to work.
Yes, he'd be heading back to the family business. See if it's busy or not. If it isn't, then he'll probably enjoy one of his new hobbies he's picked up.
Well, actually, as you head back, worried as I am about whatever Thomas's new hobbies might be, as you head back to the Undertakers, you see your sister kind of hovering around, like leaning out the front, like looking sort of expectantly, and she goes, "Thomas! Just missed him. Your weird doctor friend was in. The
Oh, yes, the guy from the morgue.
Yeah, he is.
Victor.
He seemed awfully excited about something. He said he had a body to show you.
Oh,
and I said he's going to see plenty of body, but he said this one was special.
He's got an unusual interest. He keeps finding strange bodies, or anything strange gets sent to him.
He did ask if we ever see any strange bodies, that if he could come and have a look at them.
True. He was particularly interested in the last ones we had with the maggot incident.
Yes, he was. He asked if we'd still got any of the maggots, but I told him, alas, all turned to dust.
They did, which I suspect is probably the best. But, oh, thank you. How long ago did he come over?
You literally just missed him.
I'll see if I can catch him. I know where he's going.
To his little underground lair, I presume?
Yes, I think
You
something
need to
like
find...
that.
Thomas, I don't mean to intrude on your life, but could you please find some friends who aren't involved with dead bodies? It does... Being an undertaker is perfectly respectful, but if all of your friends are undertakers and grave diggers and morgue attendants, then people might start to get the wrong idea. Find some, I don't know, lively, life-enjoying friends.
You mean like
not
parties?
just not boxing.
Parties, that sort of thing.
Yes,
People
parties.
sociable.
Yes, live people socializing.
I suppose Victor and myself can go to the pubs and see what we can dig up.
I don't know why I bother.
Anyway, I'll see if we can catch him. Thanks for the information. And I'll turn to head to the morgue.
Okay, so you head on over to University Hospital and down into its familiar formaldehyde-smelling depths, where you can hear someone whistling a very jaunty tune. The clatter of implements.
Well, when I reach the door, I'll just knock.
Come in! Come in! Oh.
Good morning, I think. Is it still morning? No, it might be afternoon.
Afternoon now, I think, technically.
Yep.
Thomas.
How have you been
That was
doing?
fast.
I think I just missed you. You seem happy in yourself.
Oh, yes. Yes. This, it's happened again. You know? I don't know if I should tell you and spoil the surprise. Okay, I'll give you the option. Do you want to be told now, or do you want it to be a surprise?
I'll say surprise. That'll be interesting.
Right, come on,
I like surprises.
This fellow washed up on the shore this morning. Unknown, pretty fresh looking, so they brought him in down here. You know, drowning victim, started to do the autopsy, clearly a drowning victim.
Normal, yes.
I was putting it in the, normal and boring pile. And then, as I hooked it in, you would not believe what I found. I mean, you might, but,
You didn't find fishes in there, did you?
yes. And you might say, he was in the Thames. He had fish in his lungs. Like, could happen. But seriously, like...
You have mentioned this before about, I think, crabs or something in someone's
Yeah, I mean, the
lungs.
others were on the land, which is slightly more convincing, but this... And he like, pulls out a metal tray, and you see him pointing at what looks to be a rather large eel.
That's not normal. That usually doesn't go in.
Lungs, exactly, all coiled up and around. I thought, okay, maybe it like, got in there afterwards, having a little eel snack, and...
You never know. But then again, it would have eaten its way out as well.
Well, yeah, but maybe it hadn't been long. So then I thought I'd, cut open the other one, and... Look, here. I kind of waved you over, and sort of...
Is there like another eel as well?
No, mussels. Look, little strings of mussels, like they're clinging onto a rock, but like clinging on. You can see there inside the bronchi. Like
I'll have
that. An eel might have swum on its own, but mussels?
I've grown there.
Oh, grown, exactly. This.
When you told me about this last time, I thought you were joking. It's like
I know you
told
did.
me about
I can always
that.
tell you smiling and nod, but I can tell you don't think I was joking.
Yeah, there's some strange things going on. Any idea who this gentleman is, or was, or?
No idea. Cheapest shirt. Quite fancy, quite nicely made shoes. Not local made by the looks of them. But no wedding ring.
Any signs of her injuries?
No. Genuinely looks to have drowned, which is what one.
So
would
it just
assume.
looks as if he may have just slipped in and drowned, or fell off a boat or something.
Yeah, slipped, pushed, jumped. But yeah, I'm glad I checked. I almost didn't bother, you know. Sometimes it's not worth cutting him open, but then I think it's worth it. Cut over 100 bodies, it makes it worth it for just that one, that special
That one surprise.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to pop this eel in a jar. I mean, I know it might just look like an eel now, but I know. I've still got the crabs from the other time, years ago. But yeah, I thought I saw it and I thought, I have to show Thomas, like,
Well, it's
I have
interesting.
to see it in the flesh.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't have believed it.
But, well, I won't disturb you from your day any longer, but,
Oh, it's okay. It's worth coming over just for this.
indeed.
So I'm assuming this is not part of a police case or anything like that, just
No,
John Doe type thing.
unless anyone turns up looking for short, plump guy. I mean, it's a very generic description, so we'll stick him on the slab for a couple of days, and then if not, it's into the pauper's grave with him.
Well, as unlikely as it is, I'll keep an eye out and see if anything turns up about anyone missing someone.
Yeah, might as well.
You never know. If I hear anything, I'll send her this way so we can have a look. But, it's unlikely, but people go missing all the time.
Anyway, oh, I've got another exciting thing. I finally got a camera down here.
Oh, that was going to be good. You could take pictures of
Exactly.
different types of injuries or things like this.
Exactly. People won't be able to deny these things anymore once they're captured on film.
That's
The camera
true.
never lies.
Well, that is very true, and you could keep them all in a file. You could have a folder of all the unusual cases. And if people don't believe you, you can just show them the pictures.
Yeah. And I'm already all set up for it. For the dark room. I've got plenty of dark rooms. Anyway, I have unfortunately a stack of bodies planting up, so I had best get on with my work.
No rest for the wicked.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I'll better let you get back to work. If you find any more unusual ones, let me know.
Will do. I will do.
Okay. And I'll just take my leave, I suppose.
Okay. So, Johann, you're able to head on over to the embassy and collect a former photograph that was taken showing this short, quite plump guy with glasses. His first day at the embassy. Very sort of straight-backed and formal.
Yep. Slightly nervous.
Yes. Buttoned up to the top. Is there anything else you want to do at the embassy whilst you are there?
Well, I'll just have somebody tell the ambassador that our friend hasn't just been ill at home, and he's actually gone missing. So I'll be busy with that for a while, potentially.
Okay.
And I'll go back to the train station.
Yes, Maddie. What business was it that you would like to attend to?
First, I would like to, on my way to the Carter's mortuary, I would like to swing by Dr. Davenport's bookshop.
Okay. So you swing by. The bookshop, but still appears to be closed.
Is it closed? I thought he had an assistant running
He
it.
had an assistant, but I don't think the assistant has had much word from Mr. Davenport recently, and things seem to have been closed up for the last few weeks at least. Because Mr. Davenport is still away off in Constantinople, last you heard of it, and without him to sort of buy and trade and deal and keep the business side of things running, it's sort of...
All right. In that case, I will try the doors, see if they will open, both the front and the back.
So I think Mr. Davenport has good locks. I think that was long established that he has some very good locks. But as you rattle...
Right, and he did have a security guard of sorts as well.
As you rattle the door, you hear a sound from inside. Who's that?
It's me, Miss Carter.
Oh, if you're looking for Mortimer, he's still away. I'm keeping an eye on the place there.
Right, I was wondering if
His
I could
assistant's
find
gone to
some
see
books.
her sister in Yorkshire. She'll be back next week. You can, if it's you, Miss Carter, you can come in. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I think
try the door.
Hang on a sec. You hear rattle of. Sorry, I've been keeping an eye on it.
Thank you. I just need to double check his curious books.
Would the water have taken those with him?
Not those ones.
No, I think
He might.
in his shop he has got an occult section, which
Yeah, he's got an occult.
initially it hadn't been that emphasised, but as weird stuff started to happen, and his usual customers were the same ones from when the business had different ownership, had an interest in the occult, he started expanding an occult section in the store.
Okay, yeah. Take a look. Yeah. Have you heard anything from Mr. Davenport recently?
No, I haven't. Although I plan on writing to him soon if he hasn't left the hotel he was staying in. We've just had something peculiar recently happen, and I was hoping that maybe he had some books on it, so I wanted to take a peek. Of course, I'll pay for them, but
I'm paid up till the end of next month, but after that, don't know who's really running the business these days.
Goodness, I will have to talk to his sister then. Maybe she can
I
help.
was just hired to watch the place. I'm a friend of
I understand
Mr.
that.
Green's, I believe.
I understand that, and we can. I can definitely make sure that you are employed to continue watching over the place. I'll just have to speak with Mr. Davenport's sister about maybe finding more people to work here.
Yes. And hopefully, Mr. Davenport will turn up again. I
hope so.
His I keep forgetting the lass who runs the desk says he used to disappear often for a while off to Europe, but
he might be
taking back any day.
He might be taking a sabbatical of sorts. But yes, let me take a look at these books first, and then I
Yes.
will be out of here quickly. And I am going to look through his occult section to see if I can find anything that is related to dreams.
Okay, give me a library use roll, please.
What? I'm gonna spend my luck on that. I'm sorry.
Wendy
when do-
refuses to believe that she failed the library use roll.
Let's see. That's
9 points of luck, I believe.
9. That's fine. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I spent points.
You find another copy of a sort of dream dictionary, sort of a book of sort of symbology and what sort of dream meaning, similar to the one you found in your great uncle's library. You also find a book entitled The Art of Dreaming, which is a book that sets out how to venture forth into one's dreams. Primarily, it seems, by the use of somewhat copious amounts of laudanum. But what catches your eye about this one is it does mention a strange forest. And there is a drawing on one page, amongst all sorts of other strange things of boats and castles in the sky and nonsense sort of swirls. There is a picture of what looks like a rat-like creature with little tendrils from its nose.
All right.
Described as one of the many denizens of the dreaming world.
I will take both books and I'll go behind the counter.
Yeah.
Find a piece of paper, usually a receipt type paper, and I'll write out the names of the books that I've got, because it's the 2 books. And then I am going to guesstimate the approximate cost of the books, and then a little extra. So how much would that be? What?
A certain amount. Please don't ask me to state book prices in decimalization currency. It is
All right. I will
can
put the
handle-
amount that I think the books are cost, and I will sign my name and put the receipt and the money into an envelope, sealing it, turning it over, writing my name on it, and putting it into the drawer, so that they know that it. And the gentleman security would have watched me do it.
Yes.
I think.
You're a very honest woman.
I mean, he's a friend. I want to make sure that he gets compensated for the things that he has, and even if he goes missing, heaven forbid, he shouldn't come back to things and debts missing and all of that.
Yes, and it will come back, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, I'll write a letter to his sister, and she will have somebody help with the running of the business until he comes back.
Okay. He gives a nod, and we'll show you out and sort of puts up bolts. You know, I've never seen a bookshop with quite such a good front door. Makes me feel nice and secure whilst I'm keeping an eye on the place.
Yes, well, as from what I understand, this location has not had the best of luck on things. So a good front door and a good back door are needed.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Gives a nod.
And
Did you
then
say
I
you
will-
were? Yeah.
Sorry.
And I interrupted. I think you were saying where you were going
I
next.
Yes, I was going to go to the mortuary.
Yeah. So as you head over to the mortuary, the little bell rings softly as you enter, and you see Thomas's sister, whose name escapes me momentarily.
Alice.
Alice, thank you. You see Alice Carter. Hello. Oh, I remember you. Miss Carter, yes?
Yes, I believe you are also Miss Carter.
I am indeed. Are you here to see my brother?
Yes, is he here?
He just got back. He's just in the back. I'll go fetch him.
Thank you.
Thomas?
Yes.
One of your well, there's a lady friend to see you out front.
A lady friend? I don't have many lady friends.
Well, this one, very well to do looking. If a
Oh,
bit,
I'll better go and see.
yeah. Says her name is Miss Carter.
Oh, yes, I know. Yes, I know her. I've just seen her this morning, in fact. But,
Oh,
yeah,
a regular friend.
she's got a good library.
Has she now?
Yeah.
Do I hear this interaction?
Make me a listen check, please. We'll find out if Alice has a good inside voice or not.
Oh, that's a fail.
It wouldn't surprise me if Alice is being deliberately loud, to be fair. But,
Yes. Yeah, Thomas, you see Maddie standing in the little front room.
oh, Miss Carter, how can I help you?
Hello. I'm sorry that it's been so soon. But I've actually been requested to accompany Mr. Zutanen on some business, and he was wondering if possibly you would be available to join us.
Any plans on where to travel to?
It's going to be to Brighton at the least, and we were hoping to leave tonight.
Oh, it'll be a nice breakaway, unless we're too busy here. I don't know if we've got anything booked in. I'll just turn to my sister, who's probably eavesdropping on the whole conversation, to see how busy we are.
Nothing in your calendar, Thomas.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. You go to Brighton.
Okay, looks like I'll come with you to Brighton. What is this about? Something unusual, or?
Yes, one of his junior assistants has gone missing. And he doesn't want it publicly known as of yet, and so he just wanted a few people he could trust to go with.
Well, we are very discreet here, so I'll come along. I'll see what I can help with. I'm not sure if I'll be any use, but I'll try. Maybe just an extra pair of eyes will help out.
But even if it's just an extra pair of eyes and an extra pair of legs walking around, finding the person is of importance, I believe.
On a different subject, probably completely unrelated, a mutual acquaintance of ours popped in this morning to see me. A Dr. Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
He had another unusual body to show me.
Oh, really? What was unusual about it this time?
Had an eel in its lungs. And some sort of shellfish. It was very strange. He's had them before.
Yes, I know. Is this something that does he know who the person is as well?
No idea. Just a short, plumpish, average-looking gentleman.
All right.
I'm sure I'll keep an eye out and see what happens, but
Okay.
so tonight it is.
Yes.
Should I come to the society or?
No, actually, I believe straight to the train station. I'm just going. I'm just going straight there after this. So if you've any things you need to take care of, just meet us there.
Will do. I'll only grab a few things that I need.
All right. Well, I will see you there. Thank you, Miss Carter.
Thank you, Miss Carter.
And I will leave.
So, yeah, Thomas, is there anything in particular you wanted to grab before heading over to the station?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just as usual. Accoutrements that he has.
Okay. So, after gathering your usual accoutrement, you, the three of you gather up at the train station to head down. I think it's 2, maybe 3 hours on the train down to Brighton, which is leaving sort of very shortly after you arrive at the station, so you manage to sort of get a compartment together. Presumably given Johann, who's paying for the tickets here? Is it Johann?
If Maddie hasn't, by the time Johann arrives at the train station, Johann will have bought them.
So I would presume that whether it's either Johann or Maddie paying for the tickets, that you're travelling first class.
Yeah.
So you have a nice sort of first class compartment to yourselves on the way down to Brighton. And chance to discuss anything that needs to be discussed before your arrival in the lovely seaside town.
Well, I'll pull out the photograph and put it on the table in between us. That's our, missing person. He's been doing some administrative work, and he's been overplaying his importance to his maid. But otherwise, I don't know whether he's been involved in anything weird, except, save for the fact that he had a warning about a visitor to Miss Carter, and that he is missing now. So
I'll have a look at the picture. Do I recognise the person in the picture by any chance? Is it the eel man?
Yes! You recently saw the inside of his lungs and got a good look at many of his internal organs, but also his face. And this does appear to be the very same man that was on Victor's slab.
Oh, well, I'll pick up the picture and just have a double take of it, seeing that we're off to find this person. I know this person.
Oh, you do?
I saw his body this morning. Dr. Victor Peterson had come to see me at the morgue. Oh, no, the mortuary, sorry. And he had an unusual body he wanted to show me. So I went to see him, and this was the unusual body. The person had, I think, swept up on the shore. And he was just doing what he normally does to check the bodies, to prep them for burial and to make sure there's nothing unusual with them. And he found that there was an eel in one of his lungs. That effectively, it filled his lung. I saw it as well. He showed me when I was there. There's also like shellfish, like barnacles and stuff like that in one of his lungs. In the other lung this was. I think, which neither things are normal. But I've heard, he's told me before about this sort of thing with crabs in someone's lungs and that sort of thing. To be fair, I didn't quite believe him last time, but I saw the evidence myself, I saw the body. There's no obvious signs of injury on him. like a trauma to the head or anything like that. It just seemed to have, drowned. At the moment, they haven't got a name for him, but they'll keep hold of the body for a few days until it can be identified or someone comes forward to claim it.
Well, I guess we can just use this as a quick vacation then.
You said this gentleman came to Brighton.
Yes, but I don't know what to do for or what his goals were. He intended to be back for dinner and never showed up. And since the embassy just assumed he was ill, maybe, and I was now asked to find out what happened. The fact that he has got an eel and barnacles in his lung makes me certain that I was right to show up at Miss Cotter's door. Because those are the things that happen whenever I'm somehow involved with you.
Well, we can have a look around in Brighton. You said you hadn't planned a long stay in Brighton.
No.
If he had, we could have checked with hotels and places like that to see where he was staying. But Brighton is a popular tourist destination for people to rest, recuperate, relax. So perhaps someone at the train station will recognise him if we show a picture to, perhaps as a regular, like a newspaper seller or someone who sells things for tourists who may have an idea at the station.
Worth a try, at least.
And at least we can get some information about who he saw and why he was here, but it's worth a try. We may find something. If we're on the way here, we may as well look around and see what we can find.
It can't hurt.
Yes. So it's evening as the train pulls into Brighton Station. Early evening, and it's currently August, so it's still very much light. Right. So you
I'll
get
take
down.
a quick.
Yeah.
I'll take a quick look at the schedule if there's a train going back this evening still, or whether we'll need a hotel. Because if we do so, I would go and find us some accommodations in between.
There is a return train, but it is this same train, so it'll be leaving in about half an hour's time after it's sort of refueled.
Okay, that might be a bit short.
So, but there is a train leaving tomorrow morning. And so this being bright, you can see most of the people getting off this train appear to be sort of here for a bit of a holiday. It's summertime, they've come down to the seaside, it's a nice, pleasant August evening. Down from the train station, people heading down to the big hotels along the promenade. Maddie, you've been to Brighton several times before in the past for various reasons, so there's not usually in such good weather. There's the sun shining down and a warm summer afternoon. You can see there's outside the station there's various people sort of trying to sell postcards, newspapers, sort of trying to sort of encourage visitors to come to particular hotels, or advertising amusements down on the pier. Quite a hustle and bustle as people sort of trying to take advantage of the tourist trade.
We may want to ask these people on if they've seen where Mr. Hoffman had possibly gone. If you would like, I could look into a hotel for the evening.
Sure. I don't mind. I'll go and ask the passersby, or more like the personnel.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, finding a hotel room isn't difficult. You've got enough money, and there's a lot of hotels in Brighton.
I think one of the better ones nearest the train station would probably be best.
So one of the fancier hotels in Brighton. I can look up a name. I was thinking the Royal Brighton Hotel. We'll call it for now. Seems a suitable name. It's a short distance from the train station, a bit sort of closer to the sea, offering a sea view from almost all of its rooms. And those of you asking around, sort of sellers around the station, you know what? Make me a luck roll. I think that is the fairest way to cover this. Let's do.
Should I check as well? Would that be a separate luck roll, or?
It would be a separate luck roll. This is. I'm not.
I'm actually going to be doing some shopping whilst I'm here.
Oh yeah.
So, but I shall ask the people I'm buying things from.
Yeah. What sort of things are you buying? Are we?
I'm looking for a whistle. Just a standard whistle.
Lots of whistles available. Normal whistles painted with bright colours. Novelty whistles with the Brighton Pier painted on them.
Just a plain normal whistle that's loud.
Okay, a plain normal whistle that's loud. You're
Or
able to
maybe
obtain
actually
that.
3 of them.
However, yeah, 3 whistles are easy enough to obtain. However, nobody seems to have remembered your particular person. Otto Hoffman doesn't seem to have made much of a mark on the cellars outside the station. There's been a lot of passing traffic here.
It could be the wrong time of day, different people, different times of day. So we might have better luck tomorrow.
Maybe. Also, he might not be as overstating his wealth here as he did at his home. So he might just not be a very noticeable person out here.
We could always see, there's sometimes coaches to take people as like cabs from the station. We could always check with them if we haven't checked. We've checked the sellers, but we haven't checked the cabs.
Yeah, a short distance away, there's coachman. Are you showing the photograph around?
Yes.
And this is an important question. Who's doing the showing of the photograph around?
I think
Who's got the photograph currently?
Johann's got the photo,
Yep.
and to be fair, I believe him. He's much more charming than myself.
Well, it doesn't take you ask a couple of coachmen. The first couple don't seem to know much, but the third one goes, yeah, I'm a foreign fellow like yourself.
Yeah. Member of the same embassy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really ask him much, but yeah, I picked him up. And then dropped him back here at the station afterwards.
You remember where he was? Where he went?
Yeah, well, I had to wait for him, so definitely I was there for hours. I mean, it was worth it. But yeah, up at Albrook.
Oh, okay.
You know the place?
I think I might have heard of it. It's a sanitarium, right? Or
Yeah,
like...
a couple of miles up along the coast.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
Sometimes get people visiting friends and family up that way. But
I mean, understandable. I'll give him a couple of just for a thank you. Monies for the thank yous. I was like,
hey,
couple of euros. Wait a moment.
pennies,
Couple of hundred years too late.
shillings.
Shillings.
I need to double check my old money values.
Yeah, a not overkill amount of money.
Yes.
Just a nice bit for a small amount of information. Sort of maybe the price of a drink. something like that.
Yes,
or
yeah.
maybe a small meal, something like that.
Yeah. Sounds fair. A couple of bob.
Treat yourself.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess we'll meet up with Maddie and tell her that's the asylum. I'm not sure if Johann was already at the asylum.
I don't know. Johann has not had any dealings with Elbrook, I don't think.
Yes, I think we might have stumbled over the name a couple of times
Yes.
during explanations. But I don't think Johann himself has been there.
You've
yet.
not been there, but the name may have come up.
Possibly, since the remaining Belfont child has been there for a few years.
Yeah, it's totally a coincidence that the guy drowned with a marine life in his body after the meeting with the Belfont. Luckily,
Assuming that's what
notable.
happened. Anyway.
I picked up these whilst you were sorting out the hotel. These whistles. I thought it'd be a good idea for each of us to have one with us in case we get separated. And if one of us ends up in danger, we can just blow the whistle and, well, we'll hear that the other's in danger. And it'll help, I think. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
True.
Hopefully it's not necessary, but if we're stopping in we'll be stopping in the same hotel, so we'd be within earshot should one of us need assistance after it seems Miss Carter's in some sort of danger as well.
I appreciate the thought. I will take the whistle he hands me.
Yeah. So, are we going to visit that asylum then? I don't think this late in the evening does make sense for a visit at an asylum, but
Well, we could always visit it and see. That all we'll be told if it's not visiting hours as such, that we'll have to return the following day, but at least then we'll know.
I think we should rest tonight and then go in the morning.
I'd say so too. We know that being faster doesn't make any difference to Otto, so I guess we can take it easy and get a good evening.
Had Johann mentioned his wife was missing as well?
I don't think I did,
No.
mainly because I forgot. And I'm not sure if we should know if Otto had actually had a wife.
You would have been able. So you went to access his records to get the photograph,
Yes.
and according to that, he was unmarried.
Yes, I would have probably noted that during the train ride then. That he had a woman there that was not his wife, on account of him being not unmarried.
He didn't have a wedding ring on when I saw his body.
It's only the one body?
Yes, just the one, which was curious. I'm just wondering if the woman he had been seeing ended up in the asylum, and that's why he came to Brighton to see her. It's possible.
So you said the maid knew about it? Knew about the woman staying?
Yeah, she was considering them not being on best terms because they slept in different rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something uncommon.
When we get back, I need to take one of my maids to go speak with that maid. Because if it's who I think it is, then my maid would know. As I said earlier to you, the person that I think has put my life in danger is the older sister. It's the maid that I've given sanctuary to.
The girl I'm talking about is about 17. And I feel like
The
it's
maid?
unlikely. The maid.
Or the woman who stayed?
Or the woman
I'm
who
talking-
stayed. I see.
I'm talking about the woman who stayed may very well be the older sister of. It most likely is Matilda.
Matilda, I think was her name. You said.
Yeah, your maid is
Yes.
Agnes Burton, and her elder sister
Yes,
was
my
Matilda.
maid is Agnes. Her older sister is Matilda, and if Miss Fairfax is able to give a proper description of the person who's there and that meets Agnes's recollection of what her sister looks like, then we know who it is.
Also, siblings do tend to look like each other. It should be a good idea. Well, let's go find a nice restaurant to eat dinner at. And then take a nice evening's rest to continue this tomorrow.
And yes, you are able to dine at a nice Brighton restaurant and sleep in a lovely Brighton hotel. And you awake the next morning, undisturbed by strange dreams or tentacle-faced rats. And it is not quite such a nice day as yesterday. The sky is a little overcast and the wind's blowing in off the sea. Waves of crashing against the shore. There's less people walking along the promenade, and more people sticking to the indoors. Although there are a few people still strolling up and down, despite the lack of sunshine. And a couple of seagulls circling around, keeping their eye out for any stray food or small children to carry off.
Well, I'll take a look around, find some cab to get us to Albrook.
Yeah.
Might be
Able
worth
to-
seeing if we can take the same cab that took the other gentleman. Put some extra business his way.
All
What
right.
is-
Oh, good morning.
Albrook, I presume?
I don't even need to say anything.
Well, you asked
That's how
about
you
it. You
tell
seemed
a
interested
professional.
yesterday. Right, would you like me to wait? Take you back as well?
I don't think we'll be too long.
Yeah, we used to get a lot more people visiting up that way, for the change in management, but...
There's been a change of management.
Oh! Yeah. It's, having this conversation from, like, the top of the cab. Yeah. It's quite the, quite the to-do. You see, Dr. Lake, who used to run this place, he tried to blow up this Earl. Well, no, did blow up. He blew up an Earl's house, and
I recall that, yes.
so Dr. Croft took over.
Mm-hmm. And what were the changes in policies that he had placed?
Less visitors, I think, mostly. He's also, I think, been handling more cases of the criminally insane, like Dr. Lake. Yeah. Guess, don't know what you call that. Sort of idea that, you know, things you did come back to you. I don't know, sure someone's got a word for it. But yeah, they don't have as many visitors, and most of the staff used to live down in town and head up, but now a lot of them stay on site. So less business, sadly, but that's how things are. Luckily, there's plenty of other places people want to go around Brighton. We've been doing some lovely scenic coastal rides, if it can interest you. The weather tomorrow is forecast to be better.
Perhaps tomorrow, if we're still here.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, here we are. Albrook Sanatorium.
Thank you very much.
No problem, ma'am.
Well, let's go and get in this. We just have to ask what he wanted to know, right? Wouldn't be too much.
Who he spoke with, what he wanted to know, because whatever it was may have led to his death.
Yes, yes.
I'm just assuming this isn't the usual place he would travel to.
I don't think visiting a sanitarium is a normal thing to do. If you have no relations here, I mean, he's over from the mainland, so all his family should still be in Germany. So I'm not aware of any reason he would have to be here. But how about we just ask the doctor here? And I'll go and knock.
Okay, so the front door seems to be locked, but it is answered by this burly-looking attendant who, with a sort of a ring of keys on his belt, and he sort of looks you up and down. We weren't expecting any visitors.
Good morning. Yeah, we didn't know that we were going to be visiting either. Have you seen this person here? And I'll hold him the photograph. He's gone missing on Friday.
No idea who he is, sorry.
Because we were told by a cab driver that he had visited this sanatorium. Do
He
you
must
know
have
who
been
it was?
mistaken.
Excuse me. Is it possible that you were not here that day? Would we be able to speak with any of the attendants inside?
Can I do a psychology roll to see?
Yes, you can. He looks at Maddie, he goes, "We've not had any visitors recently." Thomas?
Success.
You could tell, you saw a reaction when he looked at the photograph. There was a clear sort of look of recognition in his eyes before his sort of face shut down again. Like, he definitely did recognize the photo.
But I can't tell much more than that.
Yeah, he seems to be sort of very much sort of sending this blank wall towards you.
Well, in that case, even if you do not recognize him, we do request to speak with the doctor in charge, as this is a missing persons case with leads to believe that he has come here. Before we call the authorities in on this, we will need to know for sure if he was here or not.
I'm going to say, give me a roll here. Either, I guess, fast talk, intimidation, persuade. I'm giving you a bonus die here for reasons that may become clear.
Bonus die, I will use persuade.
Ooh.
Oh, that is not good. An 83 versus a 41. And he goes, shakes his head and goes, Dr. Croft is not receiving visitors at the moment. I'm sorry you wasted your time.
No.
I wish you good luck in finding your friend.
Excuse me, this is a matter of an embassy issue, as the person who is missing is employed by the German embassy?
Yes. Yeah. You see, we would really appreciate for this not to become a political matter, but if we had to engage with the local authorities on that, that would create waves. that nobody has any interest in. I'm certain you understand, and I'm certain also the doctor would understand that.
Oh,
So
give me
would
a
you
roll.
mind telling him, please?
Yes.
That would be probably.
Charm or persuade, probably. You still do have the bonus die here, I think.
Charm with a bonus die. Sure.
Not that you needed it. He goes, fine, although the doctor will not be happy about being disturbed.
I understand.
Wait
My
here.
condolences about it.
And he disappears off deeper into the sanatorium. So the keys jingling on his belt, his shoes sort of thudding on the sort of polished floor. And you're left sort of standing alone in this very bare-looking lobby. There used to be sort of a desk here where people would sort of have someone waiting. It doesn't seem to be there anymore. There's just a couple of benches on the walls of this room. It's very austere, very bare.
Well, as soon as he leaves, I'll turn to the other two. He recognised that picture. He seemed to flinch when he saw the picture. It wasn't... Well, it made me think he recognised it. I don't know why, but he had seen him. He does know who... He has seen the person in that picture. That's that much I can tell you. It made him very uncomfortable. I don't know why he's denying it. There's no reason for him to deny it.
Unless he's involved in the showing up of the body.
Or he's been told to keep quiet about seeing him.
That's a sort of involvement, isn't it?
I'm assuming the Dr. Croft who's in charge, if he told this guy to be quiet, he would choose to be quiet because that's the person who employs him. So it could be Dr. Croft is the one we need to get answers from.
Sorry. This slightly balding, well, quite balding, gentleman with a badly tied bow tie comes hurrying in, and sorry to keep you waiting. Have we met before? He looks up and down Maddie.
Possibly. Maybe briefly once.
Yes, I apologise about Hector. He's not very welcoming at times. But
You wouldn't happen to have seen this person here? We were told by a cab driver that he had made his way.
yes, the German fella.
Exactly.
Came by on Friday, I believe. Sorry, Hector must have got himself confused.
I see. Do you know what he wanted here? Because he's not shown up afterwards, and we're trying to find his whereabouts.
Yeah, he had a couple of questions for some of the patients.
Was one of them Mr. Belfont?
Yes, actually. Yes, he wanted to speak to Mr. Belfont and Mr. Lake. Well, Dr. Lake, I suppose, still. Did warn him that, not all in a position for seeing guests, but he said he was an official from the German embassy, which I wasn't quite sure what the German embassy had to do with any of this, but, you know, I don't want to make waves. So to speak.
Understandable.
We had a brief chat, but then he popped back down to the town. Nothing too dramatic.
Do you remember which the Belfont, Mr. Belfont, Mr. Dr. Nathan Lake?
Yes. Yeah.
Any others?
Just those two.
Just us two. Okay, thanks. Because I think I'll give that information back to the embassy, and we'll try to find out. He left afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah. He didn't stay long.
I see. Well, thank you a lot. That was very helpful already.
I was wondering if we could speak with the.
You did yourself.
I accidentally did that. I was wondering if we could speak with Mr. Belfont and Mr. Lake about what they may have spoken with him about, or did you have somebody attendant
I sat in for the interviews. It was just a couple of inquiries about Actually, it was about Belfont House incident and the Earl Grey's house incident. So I suppose maybe the theme of his visit was inquiring about mysteriously exploding houses.
Could I make another psychology roll?
Yes.
Not
yes,
so much to tell if he's lying, but more to tell if there's something wrong with how he's reacting and how he reacted to the picture.
Yeah, go for it.
Success.
There's something off. He seemed... His reaction to the picture didn't seem surprised. Like, it's almost like he was expecting that. But it was his reaction to seeing Maddie there, and sort of he looked surprised and then sort of excited about something. But as
Sort of, he recognised her.
yes, yeah,
There
Maddie,
wasn't-
you have met this doctor before, like years ago when you visited Albrecht. He goes, yeah, but if you would like to speak to either Dr. Lake or Mr. Belfont, seeing as you've come all this way, I'm sure it could be arranged.
I mean, sure. I'm not sure what we would ask them, except for, what he did.
Well,
But I think maybe it's just, maybe that's not the important part. We know that he left from here, right? So we should probably just follow the trail. If we need to ask those questions, we can probably come back later.
oh yeah, you're always welcome to come back. Just give your name at the desk and I'll ensure that Hector knows to let you in. But it was very lovely to see you again, Miss Carter.
Pleasure to see you again as well.
Yeah, pleasure to get to know you.
Yes, it was nice to meet you.
And sort of ushers you sort of down the front steps, and as the doors of Elbrock sort of slam shut behind you with this resounding thud, that is where we're going to finish for this week. We're finishing a little earlier, but we will be back next week to continue this as our investigators are heading back to London. Yes? Or staying around in Brighton a little.
Potentially. We'll see what happens.
Well, we'll leave them standing on the front steps of Albrook, coming to a decision. As various threads are tangled together. And we'll see how they get untangled or further tangled next week.